Welcome to part two of the article about the Alabama abortion bill. I'll continue on where I left off at the end of video one. So, as Americans United for Life Representative Clark Forsyth acknowledged that for anti-abortion activists looking to overturn Roe as quickly as possible, these heartbeat bills may not be the most effective strategy. The stronger the limits, the greater the likelihood the courts will strike them down, and they won't go into effect, Forsyth said. They will be struck down, go to the Supreme Court, and not be heard, leaving the injunction in effect to the lower courts. In effect in lower courts. But Tom McCluskey, president of March for Life Action, which advocates for ending abortion through a yearly national march on Washington, told the PBS NewsHour that even if these restrictive laws are likely to get held up in court, it was very important for advocates to support them now because that's what they believe is the right thing to do, even if the court is not yet ready to act on it. In reaction to the Alabama ban, the state chapter of the ACLU pledged in a tweet on May 14th to sue to stop this unconstitutional ban and protect every woman's right to make her own choice about her health care, her body, and her future. On May 15th, Planned Parenthood and the abortion clinics filed a lawsuit against the state of Ohio challenging the abortion bill signed in April. What's the likely outcome of these bills? Well, many of the new restrictive abortion laws have been enacted to force the courts to confront Roe. The strategy is still a long shot, said Florida State University's Ziegler. Rather than making any changes to precedent on abortion, the Supreme Court may just let the decisions of lower courts on this legislation stand and not intervene at all. On the chance that the Supreme Court does hear an abortion case, there has been no signal that it is considering a radical change to Roe, said Ziegler. In February, Chief Justice John Roberts joined the court's more liberal-leaning justices in ruling that a Louisiana law requiring doctors to have specific hospital admitting privileges could not go into effect until the case makes its way through the lower courts. Given Roberts' comments about the independence of the judiciary, Ziegler said it is more likely that the courts may hear cases that allow it to erode abortion rights more gradually. For example, state laws restricting later abortions without looking purely partisan. The Supreme Court is currently considering whether to hear two abortion-related cases, the Louisiana case and the one from Indiana, about a law that restricts the disposal of the fetal remains and contains a reason ban. At least 6 states have passed what are known as trigger laws, which will automatically make abortions illegal in the event that the Supreme Court overturns Roe. If that all gets reversed at the federal level, then we're free to fix things at the state level, said Becker, the Ohio lawmaker. Becker is drafting similar trigger legislation to be introduced to the Ohio House later this year. He describes this bill as a modernized version of where we were in 1972, the year before the Supreme Court decided Roe. But as conservative states are working to challenge Roe, more liberal legislatures have taken the action to protect abortion rights. Legislators from all stripes are looking at the Supreme Court, noted Elizabeth Nash, who noted that the Vermont House of Representatives in May approved a measure that would limit lawmakers' ability to place restrictions on abortion access. The New York recently passed a similar law, and California already has one in place. There is a movement in the other direction, Nash said. So here we are back at the worksheet. I think, again, because it is the 28th of May, I think that you are capable of going through this, and we've talked through enough of them. We've looked at the things that you need to be looking at to get to that main idea enough. But just as sort of a quick recap, identifying the topic, well, I think the title kind of tells it all. The Alabama abortion ban could overturn Roe v. Wade. Summarizing the story, I think you need to include things like the quotes that people gave, both as pro-choice and pro-life, in the story, in the article, that sort of argue for their side, and the long-term effects that it will have. The first and last sentence you can find pretty easy. The repeated ideas. There's a lot about women's right to choose. There was a lot about um, you know what the different elements of the law are and what it's going to mean for the future. So those are things you definitely want to highlight. Maybe not all of them if you went beyond that to find others. I'm totally with you. I get that. That is a something that you can do. I would dig deeper into the article than I'm just talking through right now. It will kind of give you a richer experience. So, in the end, we want to find the main idea of the article. And this was kind of a big topic. It ended up taking two videos. And so, as we finish up here, ciao for now.